Welcome back to V Games, it's Vods, and we're back here where we just unlocked the most important shortcut, at least, of this level. I know that big gate down here was, I guess, a shortcut, but I find it useless. One thing I want to go over right now is that if you leave the level here and go to the Hunter's Dream and come back, all the enemies are going to be back alive again. If you notice here, this character has not left, and the enemies are still dead. So, right now, we could go back. We have 8 bloodstone shards. That is enough to level up our weapon to +2, which is the level we'll do for the first boss. But before we do that, I'm going to just finish the level. If you've had trouble and you've been dying more, you haven't been able to just, I guess, stay alive and continue the progression, you've had difficulties, I'd recommend going back, leveling up your weapon, because damage helps. The most important things for damage, especially at an early level, is 2 things. 1, weapon level, and your blood gems. Which you can slowly equip depending on the level of your weapon. Your actual stats for strength and skill, or whether you're doing a blood tinge build or arcane, they don't matter as much, especially early on, as your weapon level and your weapon level and your blood gems. So, weapon level is most important. Go level it up if you need to, and then come back. We'll come here. So that's where those 2 giant guys were. We just avoided them. If we come here and we go up these stairs, there's just an item here real quick. It's a cold blood dew, I think. Yeah, cold blood dew. So my recommendation with these, if I didn't mention it already, is don't use them until you're ready to use them, like in the Hunter's Dream. Because if you die, you lose your blood echoes. They get dropped on the ground, or an enemy takes them and you have to go back to the point where you were to get them, or kill the enemy that has them in order to get them back. And if you fail, then you lose them permanently. So, my recommendation, don't use those items until you need to. Here, we find a bunch of dogs in cages. We're going to hurry and go after them, so they don't end up getting out of their cages. I think in general, that's the only one that actually ever gets out of their cage. Maybe one of the ones from the top. But all the others end up staying in the cage here. And they're just free blood echoes, because they can't attack you. And they're not going to get out. But the one thing I wanted to point out is that this is that shortcut. If you noticed here, all the coffins, wooden coffins that I busted down, this is where we would have dropped off. And we could have come over here to the left. And here's the shortcut that we unlocked in the house and to the gate. But we needed to finish the progression over there in order to make it be useful. So we've killed these dogs. To the left here on this path is another dog. Now, one thing with dogs, I'll tell you, is, let me do it on this dog. You can shoot them. If you're having trouble getting the jump on a dog, as far as timing their attack, they're attacking you before you can attack them, here's the easy thing to do. Shoot them, and then attack them. Voila.
You're a hunter, aren't you? Then, well, do you know of any safe places?
Well, so we find an NPC in here. We can talk to her, but it doesn't do any good. And I'll show you why.
I've heard I have. Shutting up indoors isn't always enough. Well, if you hunters got off your asses, you wouldn't be in this mess. You're obligated to help me, you hear? So what'll it be? Are you going to tell me or not?
So she's telling us we're obligated to help her and tell her where a safe place is. She doesn't feel safe in her home. We have not found any safe places yet, so we can come back and tell her of a safe place later on.
Yeah, I should have known. You're good for nothing. No respect for the elderly is what that is. Yeah. Fat little good you outsiders do. Go on, admit it. You think we're all mad, don't you?
I do.
Well, go and stop it. I know all your tricks.
Yes. Lots of tricks here. We have lots of tricks. Anyway, so we'll come back later and talk to her, and we'll send her to one of two places, depending on what you would like to do. You do that in your game. But we're going to continue on down here. To the right here, I'd say a lot of people on their first playthrough miss this. If they don't know know about it, there's a shortcut right here. I wouldn't say shortcut, a hidden pathway. We'll come up there in just a moment. It activates quest line with an NPC and a covenant. So we're going to come down here, and we encounter one of these guys. We can practice our dodging skills. Come up and hit him, and dodge away. There we go. Now, you can, this is what I do, just because I'm like this. I don't always pick these up right away, because I know in the future I'm going to be falling down and taking falling damage, and encountering a few rats at the same time. So I might take some damage, and these guys often drop blood vials. So I'm going to leave that and pick it up later. Going to break through here, come down on our hidden pathway, and right here to the right is where our NPC is hidden. We'll come and talk to her. This is Eileen.
Oh, a hunter, are you? And an outsider? What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights. Here, to welcome the new hunter. Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about. What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts. No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves. What are you still doing here? Enough trembling in your boots. A hunter must hunt.
Okay, so she gave us an item called the Bold Hunter's Mark. And this basically will take you back to your lamppost. So if you're through wherever you are in a map, and you just want to get back to your lamppost because you're out of help or whatever reason, you can come here and use this. It'll take you back there. You keep all of your blood echoes. I have 5,203. I'd keep all of them. The other thing you can do is a hunter's mark. I may have explained this, I don't remember. But it does the same thing as the bold hunter's mark, except you lose your blood echoes. Like it says there. Sacrifice all your blood echoes. So, that's the difference between the two. One is limited, one is not. You have to either buy or find the bold hunter's marks. The other thing up here is there's 3 items. 2 of them are hanging. One is on the ground across there. But you have to be careful, because if you swing at these, that's how you get them down. You might fall. And if you fall, you could lose a lot of health and put yourself in a bad situation, because right down below us is an enemy. Right there. To our bottom right, you can see him moving. So, plus you may end up falling even further than you think. So, I like to use the elongated version of my weapon in transform mode. And the R2 has a nice sweeping attack. And the item drops. We'll come and pick this one up. Here, now we can see a little better. And we'll do the same for this one. See, when we swing, if you notice, we lunge forward. And so that's what makes it so we might fall. But we don't have to be aimed directly at the item because the wide sweeping of this weapon attack. The only way down off there is to drop down. There's no ladders anywhere. We'll lose some health. But now we're over here, and I like to drop down there because then I can sneak up on this enemy, and we can perform a charged attack and a visceral. And he's dead. As soon as you do something, this enemy comes over, and he starts shooting at you. So I'm going to leave this one like I am the other. Going to come over here. We're going to practice our dodging. Now. Oops, you got to dodge forward. My bad. So, you pause a second, dodge. That's all you got to do. There is an item on the ground here. We'll get that. It's just cold blood dew. And there's another humanoid werewolf over here. I don't know the names of them. But we'll hurry and get the jump on him. 2, 3, dodge away. Wait for him to attack. And attack again. We will leave his loot that he drops. Now, we want to get those items down there, and at the very end, you can't see it. There's another item, and that's where our insight is. It's called a madman. I will have to look at it when we get there. However, when we drop down, the only way to come back up to get to the other side, because one dropped on that ledge and one dropped on this ledge down there, is to come out here and climb a ladder. Now there's a couple enemies who have rifles who shoot, and one of those humanoid werewolf creatures. So I like to come out here, take care of these enemies so I don't get killed climbing the ladder, and then come over and drop down and get my items. So if we come out here, sprint a little because we want to be quick. Dodge. See if we can parry him. Might not kill him. Now we can do a dodging L1. Dodging transformed attack. It works well. Pick up our items here. Our quicksilver bullets. And a cold blood dew, I believe. Yep. There's just a couple more enemies up and around here. As we progress over here, you see there's another item on one of those crosswood things. I don't know what they're called. But a couple birds, the most annoying enemies in the game, I think. Other people might think other enemies are, but I hate them. And then there's another one here on the left. Can't really see. Get that. And then there's two more over here on the left, just past this coffin. And they are protecting an oil. Voila. Now we can drop down on this item, on the ledge here, on this wood. Grab our item. I believe it's a bloodstone shard. Yep. And we'll drop down. Lose a tiny bit in health. And then find our ladder here. Okay. Now that we've done that, we can drop down here. There are rats. If you notice here, look across the way, there's 3 kind of holes, and there's rats in some of them. So, just be aware that there might be some on this side as well. None here, but in this one there is. Kill him. And let's see, I like to get the jump on him. Oh. Okay. Heal. And this item is 2 bloodstone shards. So now we're at 11. That's good. We can drop down here. And here's that item. The one that gives us insight. We'll use that charged sweeping attack. Pick it up. Madman's Knowledge, that's what it's called. Now, if we come into our inventory, we can use it right away. Now we have 1 insight, and we can now level up with the doll. Now, this it doesn't apply now, but later on, if you go into New Game Plus, when the first time you visit the dream, even if you have insight, you cannot level up with the doll. You have to earn insight outside of there, in the nightmare here, or whatever you want to call it, not the dream. And you have to gain at least 1 insight here, and then go back, and then you can level up. Oops, wrong button. So, the other item is actually a weapon. It's a weapon very similar to the one we have right now. But before we get it, we're not going to be coming back up here, so we're going to go get all the items that we did not get. Blood vial. Blood vial. And you don't have to do things exactly this way. I'm just showing the way that I like to do them, because it you take damage progressively throughout the game. You just randomly different enemies, whatnot. So if I know I'm gonna take damage and I know I can get them later on, I would prefer to have the full 20 vials, then have 16, and have an extra 4 in my storage. Just my own thought process. Drop down. See, we recovered our fall damage by attacking right away. We were aggressive. Sometimes, like I said earlier, it's easier to attack without being locked on. Or better, the Saw Spear. So we'll equip this. Now the Saw Spear is similar in moveset. If you see, it even looks pretty close to the same. This moveset, this is the Saw Cleaver. We switch to the Saw Spear. Now the difference is, the Saw Spear ends up having slightly better scaling and skill, and the Saw Cleaver has better scaling in strength. The Saw Cleaver has a higher base damage. However, if you notice, the Saw Spear here, we look at it, it does have thrust damage. So its base is 85, the Saw Cleaver's base is 90, but the scaling difference, the Saw Spear has 9, the Saw Cleaver has 8. So if we just check the moveset out for the Saw Spear in transformed mode, Here's your regular R1s. They're different. They're way different. But here's our thrust. It uses it kind of like a spear. I think that's why it's called the saw spear. The nice thing about this one, as opposed to the saw cleaver, the saw cleaver does serrated damage when in regular form only. The saw spear does serrated damage in all forms. So you're always going to be getting serrated damage against beasts with this weapon. So, just a little tidbit of knowledge. Now we've finished all this. The way out is at the bottom here. We go all the way to the end. And what we're going to notice here is this, I'll drop down here. This is where we were earlier. The ladder that we could have taken. So, we're going to take this ladder now. And we're going to take this ladder. And it's going to take us up here. Actually, before we do that, I think I forgot something. I did. In the last episode, we were going to go up this ladder and come behind the giant boar. We never did that. So, I apologize. But we'll do that right now. And then we'll come back. It's a long ladder. Okay, so this is where we unlock the shortcut. So if you did die, and or you went back to the Hunter's Dream, or you want to level up right now, you're low on blood vials, that's a good time. But we're going to come over here. I'm going to put this in transform mode so we can use that giant sweeping attack. Oh. And watch out for that fire. Alright. So that's the nice thing about this, is that long sweeping attack. Oh, I never knew that. So if you do just a regular R2, it does that. However, if you do a charged R2 attack in this form, and then R2, it does that. I didn't know that. Okay. Up here, we have another one of these giant guys. That dude on the left there is the one who lit the freaking ball that tried to kill us. So, these enemies are actually not that hard to parry. They have a long attack period. So as soon as they start running, you can parry them. Or as soon as they start swinging, you can parry them. You just shoot. You can even shoot them when they jump. And all these attacks here, okay, do your run. Will you run? Okay, I want you to run at me. Yeah. Dodging, transformation attack. The reason you want to do a dodging transformation attack is because it creates more stun, more stagger. We'll heal. Like I said, these usually drop blood vials or shining points. So we got blood vial. We will come up here. Just come over and swing at him. That's kind of stupid. Okay, and we're going to drop down this ladder here. Okay. Now, we've come up right behind the boar. I'm going to go into transform attack because I don't think we're going to kill it with our first charged attack in visceral. I think we're going to have to attack it again. And if we quickly go into our second charged attack in visceral, then we can get it before it has a chance to attack us. So if we come up behind it, charge attack, visceral, charged attack. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, we got it. There we go. Okay. These almost always really drop one of two things. Usually, 99% of the time, it's blood vials. So, in the chalice dungeons, a lot of the times they drop radiant blood gems, which are useless. Anyway, coming over here, pick up the Cold Blood Dew and the Saw Hunter badge. These badges unlock certain things as you progress through the game. So, with that badge, we unlock the ability to purchase any of the starting weapons. So, that is nice because now we can go back, we can get a whip, and we can get the hunter's axe as well. Also, if for some reason you had just went and sold any of your weapons, any weapons you have owned, you can now purchase from the Bath Messengers. So here we are going back up to progress. We're almost done with the level. And what we want to do is go here to the right. There's a bunch of birds, and that item is another madman in whatever it is. Oh, it's whatever brings us insight. Pebble, yep. Madman knowledge. Okay. We don't have a point in using it right now, so we'll just keep it as is. Come over here. We're going to perform a visceral attack after a charged. Get our blood vials. And come up this ladder. Now, there's another one that we can go talk to, but they're, like I said, most of them, we'll talk to all the NPCs for sure. We'll do their quest lines, but we're not going to just go talk to all the windows. Here's a gate, and we'll figure out where, we'll get our bearings here. If you remember, we had the big guy banging on the door there. We had crows here. Our shortcut was right over here. And we ended up coming up here through these stairs. This gate was locked. We just opened it, and we're going to talk to another NPC.
Who are you? I don't know your voice, but I know that smell. Are you a hunter? And please go look for my mum. Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him, but now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared.
So you can either find the girl's mother or refuse. Refusing, it just kind of makes it so you don't ever do the quest line. If you refuse, you can come back and still do it, but there's a time frame in which you are not able to start it. So if you're going to do it, just hit find the girl's mother. Doing so gives you an item that helps you fight a boss here. Not our first boss, our second boss. And also, yeah, we just get that item. So.
Really? Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box.
The music box. And why?
It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs. And when Daddy forgets us, we play it for him so he remembers. Mum's so silly running off without it.
When Daddy forgets us, she plays it so that he remembers us. And her mom wears a big red jeweled brooch. Okay.
My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, and if you find her, give her this music box. Please, I know you can do it.
Okay. Alright, well, if I find her, we will give her the music box. Alright, so this level is basically all done. We're going to make our way back to the Hunter's Dream. Right now, we'll take this shortcut. All the way over. If you want to, you can go kill those guys, but whatever. So, we'll go back, we'll level up. We'll level up our weapon, that's the most important thing. Now, you should note when you go back to the Hunter's Dream, like, the health that we have right now is probably like 80% or something. When we go there, it automatically goes to 100%, so you don't need to use a blood vial to restore your health completely. It just does it for you. Okay, and now we see the doll is no longer just an inanimate object, but alive. Before we talk to her, let's pick up this item. Consume insight and ring the beckoning bell to enlist the cooperation of hunters from other worlds. Silencing bell ends such forms of cooperation. Okay, so the beckoning bell gives out a beacon and it helps search for other hunters who are trying to help people. Cooperation. The silencing bell does a couple things. One, if you are searching for someone to bring into your world to cooperate with you, it ends that. It also, if you are in someone else's world cooperating, you can go home using that. Also, if you are searching for someone to cooperate with, as in to go into their world, instead of bringing them into yours to go into their world, it ends that search as well. And then we pick up another item, assuming you have the DLC. It gives you the Old Hunter Bell. So, I believe you only get this if you get the Old Hunter's DLC, which I recommend, because some of the most, I'm going to say that some of the funnest weapons and the most effective weapons are in the DLC. So, I recommend it. Let's see here. Let's show you this. So, this is the Bath Messengers. Since we got that badge now, we have more items that we can buy. We can buy additionally Pungent Blood Cocktail and a throwing knife. Or did we have that before? I can't remember. But we can buy those now. Also, we can buy any of these 4 weapons. And either of these 2. Plus a new attire. So, now also, if we come up here, we have 1 insight. Insight is also a currency. You can trade it for items. We can get the small resonant bell. The small resonant bell is the one that helps you search for other hunters, so that you cooperate in their world. So you can get that, the cocktail, and there's not much else here right now. So purchase either of those if you would like to. Here, this box is our storage, as it says. We can place items in here or retrieve. So this box contains all those extra blood vials, all the extra quicksilver bullets, everything. Anything extra that we have, we can pick up here. This is switch. Right now, we are into putting items in the storage. And so, if we switch, let's see if it says, okay, at the very bottom, there's an R2L2. Okay. Right now we're in storage. We have 25 blood vials in storage, 27 quicksilver bullets, and 6 Molotov cocktails. If we switch, this is showing the items that we have. We can put any of these items in storage. So if we find items we're not going to use, or for whatever reason, we can place items in storage. Over here is our workshop. Workshop, right now we can fortify weapons, which is to strengthen them, level them up, or repair them. When we fortify a weapon, if we notice, let's see, does it say? Right now, our saw cleaver, if you look at its durability, which is the middle column, right in the middle, under quicksilver bullet use, it's 164 out of 200. When we level up, it automatically restores its durability to its maximum. So, we're going to use the saw cleaver for a lot of the game. So, level up. And if you notice, at the top right, there was a blue item. I should have waited. But we'll level up. There it is. So if we had, at the top right, we see blood echoes, we see required blood echoes to level up the weapon, and below that we see our, they're not runes, they're blood gems. And we can attach up to 3 blood gems to any weapon, but not until it's leveled up to a certain level. So we can do 1 now. We can attach 1 blood gem to this weapon. And this is saying if we level up 1 more time this weapon, then we can attach a 2nd blood gem. Now, if you notice, these blood gems have different shapes. The one that is on the left there is a radial shape. The one on the right is more circular. It's waning is what it's called. So you can only attach those shaped blood gems to that area of blood gem for the weapon. So just keep that in mind. Right now, we don't have the blood gem workshop tool, so we can't actually put blood gems on it. We can repair, but we don't have any items to repair because we just used the saw cleaver and we just leveled it up. And this area is where we do, it's called the memory altar, but it's where you equip runes, and we will get that later on. So we've leveled up our weapon. We'll come down here. If you need to purchase items like blood vials, either do it or farm them. The giant humanoid guys, they drop them very consistently. So at this point, that is a great place, and I'll show you on the next episode of the two that were in that giant courtyard. But that's a good place to farm blood vials if you need to. For now.
Hello, good. I am a doll, here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit.
Okay, so she basically just told us she levels up for us. So leaving just ends the conversation if we talk to her.
Did you speak with Gehrman? He was a hunter long, long ago, but now serves only to advise them. He is obscure, unseen in the dreaming world. Still, he stays here, in this dream. Such is his purpose.
Okay, so we learn a little bit about Gehrman. Talk again.
Ah, the little ones, inhabitants of the dream. They find hunters like yourself, worship and serve them. Speak words they do not. But still, aren't they sweet?
So the little
Farewell,
ones that
good
she's
maid.
talking about are these little dudes who come out of the ground here. They're around the lampposts. They're around these tombs here. These gravestones, I should say. So that's what she's talking about, is the little ones here. But you can level
Welcome home. What is it you...
up. Channel blood echoes.
Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
Okay, so the things you want to do in this game as far as leveling up is because your stats don't matter as much as your weapon level. What we want to focus on is getting to the minimum stat requirements for the weapon you're going to use. And then leveling up health. And if you need endurance, leveling up endurance. So, for one of the weapons we're going to use it later on, we need 16 strength. So I'm going to level that up to 16. And if you notice in the middle column, there's there's 3 items that change from white to blue. And that means those are being leveled up. So, if we go up 1 strength, our saw cleaver gains 2 damage from the scaling. Our right-handed weapon, our fist, gains 1, and our physical defense goes up 3. If we leveled up health, we gain health about, 19? 21. It's 21. And then our physical defense also goes up. Our physical defense is just going to go up. Go up and up and up, no matter which one we use. So, for now, I'm just going to level up 2 in strength, and then I'm going to put the rest of them, because for me, 5 swings is enough for right now. We'll level up 3 in health. Takes us from 573 HP to 638.
Farewell, good maid.
And actually, here's a situation in which we can use these cold blood dews. Because I only need to use one of these, it'll give me 350 blood echoes. And I'll have enough.
Welcome home. What is it?
That I can actually level
Very
up
well.
one more time. Give us 14 health.
Farewell, maid.
Okay, so that's it for now. We'll continue on. We'll be fighting 2 bosses in the next episode. And probably progressing through some of an area.